What's up, everybody? We're back. Episode 22, the end of the bench show, where the fans go. Got Chris Burkowski with me here again for his little mini series that we're doing. Well, not really a mini series. It's a lot of work that we did, Chris.
Yeah.
But today we're going to be breaking down, we're going to do another lineup episode that, I've done with Pat. I've done with Cassidy. I want to do football with Burkowski. We're going to break it up into two parts. So today we're going to do every offensive position, including the offensive line, which was a hell of a task for me.
You're welcome.
Burkowski really wanted to do that part.
I was insistent on it. I said that we can't accurately do it without doing the offensive line.
Which is fair. I mean, it really drives the whole thing when you think about an offense. So it makes sense. But Perk, before we get into it, I want real quick. I'm sure you're excited baseball's coming back.
Yeah, very much. It's coming back, blah, blah, blah. Only thing is the owners now, 40% of the owners are now trying to, I know the Cubs were definite. I can't remember who else, but are oh, yeah, we're going to try to fill the seats this year. It's you pieces of shit. The reason that this took so long was because you said that you were going to lose that revenue from ticket sales. Now you're trying to get people in the stadiums. As if there's not the country is not is not being slammed with new COVID cases now. Give me a break.
They can't help themselves. At the end of the day, they can't help themselves.
And people wanted to blame the players. It's ridiculous. It's been the owners the entire time.
For sure.
This is a football show, so let's talk about football.
It's a football show. We haven't done a lot of football like we did in the beginning because we did the draft, and then me and Pat did a little when we did that episode of players we hate who played for our team. And our good friend Nick Taborski, he texted me because he listens to every show. So you responded with players on that episode. I forgot who you gave for the Giants. Or I don't even know if you even gave a Giant.
I don't think I did. I think I gave Nick Swisher.
Yes, that's right. And Taborski was shocked that you didn't pick a certain player on the Giants. We were talking pre-show, and you couldn't figure it out. You really weren't even coming close, to be honest.
I might have it. Is it a defensive player?
It's not.
It's not Eli Apple?
It's not Eli Apple. He wants to know your thoughts on Matt Dodge.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ!
That's what I was like. I knew you'd get it, but I knew you just wouldn't think of it.
I haven't thought of the name Matt Dodge in I guess that was in 10 years. I haven't thought of the name Matt Dodge in 10 years because it's too painful. Because the Giants should have made the playoffs that year. And that game sealed it. Had the Eagles dead to rights going into the game. Going into that last punt, all we needed to do was kick it out of bounds.
Yep.
Kick it out of bounds. The clock would have we would have stopped him with the clock, and instead he kicks it to fucking Deshaun Jackson, who takes it to the house, and then never heard from again.
Right.
Matt Dodge can get fucked by a propane tank. He fucking sucks.
All right, I think that was the reaction that Taborski was looking for. That's a hell of a way to start the show. So,
man, oh man,
Perk, do you want to build our way up to quarterback, or do you want to go?
Yeah, we'll start with offensive line and then go to skill positions and then go to quarterback.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
it's your show, man. Whatever you want to do, this is what we'll do. So let's start with right tackle, and I don't know how to say the last name of the guy you picked. So
Ryan Ramczyk of the New Orleans Saints.
It is that easy?
Yeah, I think he's the top right tackle in the league. There's a reason that Breeze does not face a lot of pressure. New Orleans has a really good offensive line, and Ramczyk I think is the top right tackle in the league.
Yeah.
He stops pretty much anybody that comes near him.
Yeah, I think right off the bat, I think it's a good jumping off point. So the way you approached your list is a little different than mine. You went just who you think the best is.
I went who I think is the best at each position. Which when you broached it to me, I thought that's the way you were going. But did it incorrectly. I'm not
Nah.
sure if you and Pat did like with the baseball. I'm not sure if you and Pat did who you think is the best, or if it was just like I like these guys.
No, yeah, we did. I like these guys. Pat asked me like
Okay.
25 questions while we were doing that one, but I think it's good either way because it opens up more players, more discussion,
Sure.
whatever. So yeah, I'm not gonna have much to say about any of my offensive linemen, so I'm just gonna fly through mine. I
All
picked
right.
Brian Beluga at right
Okay.
tackle. I don't
Okay.
know. I don't know if he plays right tackle. I know he plays a tackle. Picked him because of because the alliteration in his name, like the double B, and Beluga is a great last name for an offensive lineman.
It's an excellent last name.
And that's all I got. And I mean, look, the Chargers are a decent team, so he's got to be pretty good. And he was on like the top. He was on like the top 10 tackles list that I looked up on CBS.
I looked at Pro Football Focus. He was up there.
So so I don't feel like it. I mean, look, at least I didn't put like a Jet or someone on there. I knew that.
Yeah, it's not going to be a Jet. It's not going to be a Jet or Giant. That's all we know. Do you want to go to right guard?
Yeah, let's keep it moving nice and quick through the linemen.
Let's go quick through the offensive line. So I have two Philadelphia Eagles on my line. My right guard is Brandon Brooks, who again I think the Eagles, you could argue, probably have the best offensive line in the NFL. And I think Brandon Brooks is a big reason of it. He stops. He's a really good run blocker. And again, he does a really good job of protecting the quarterback there.
I agree. I do know Brandon Brooks, and I know the Eagles have a good offensive line. I picked, out of the same state, I picked David DeCastro.
Okay.
At right guard, just because I feel like the Steelers are usually pretty good running the ball up the middle, and I feel like DeCastro is probably a big part of that. You usually run off the right side, so that was a pretty educated guess right there.
Absolutely.
We could go to center. We have the same center. This is the only overlap.
Our same center is the same one. Oh yeah. So I chose Jason Kelce, who again I think Jason Kelce's a Hall of Famer. I think he's the best center in the league right now, even though he's like 36, 37. He's getting up there. But yeah, I think he's the best center in the league. Huge impact in the entire playoff run that the Eagles had. I guess that's 2 years ago now. Right. What year did they win the Super Bowl? 2017?
I think 2017 or 2018, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm never going to find the picture on my phone.
But, I think he's the best in the league at his position again. And same reason for Brandon Brooks. He really good run blocker and again, protects the quarterback.
Yeah, I picked Kelce because I remember him being like an absolute clown at the parade and just
he had quite a number of adult beverages.
Yeah, that's my guy. So that's that reason. I had to break out an alcoholic beverage for this episode at a long day. So I think so Kelce was like my late addition onto that list.
Right.
Left guard, I went Brandon Sheriff for my Redskins.
He's excellent.
Yeah, that's what CBS Sports said when I looked it up. I mean, like, how am I supposed to know what a good offensive lineman is? I don't know. I'm not a football guy like that. I watch the sexy positions.
Yeah. I went with Quentin Nelson. The dude's a freight with the Colts. He's a fucking freight train. There's the videos of him mic'd up, of him just bursting off the line at the snap to destroy the defensive tackle that's coming at him, and he's just screaming the entire way. He's great. He's one of the best players in the league. But yeah, no, absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, probably the best offensive lineman in the league, and easily the best at his position.
That video reminds me of. Have you watched The Office? I'm assuming you've watched it. It reminds me of like when Stanley and Jim are like sumo wrestling on the beach. And Jim's like, I've never seen
that look in a man's eyes.
That's what that reminds me of. And one of our, friends of the show, Pat, put Quentin Nelson down as his offensive lineman too. And he said he is probably the best guard in the league. So.
Yeah, I don't think there's a probably. I think he is.
Yeah. And I mean, look, I said when, last time you were on, I said I may just cop out and say I'll take the whole Colts offensive line. So, I mean,
Yeah, and there's a reason for it too.
exactly. He's really good. And I
Yeah.
actually wanted to take your left tackle
Oh
because you
yeah,
took Ronnie Stanley.
yes I did, from the Ravens. I think he's a huge reason as to why why the fuck am
Lamar
I
Jackson.
Lamar Jackson? Yeah, Jesus Christ.
I know that
think
one.
a huge reason as to why Lamar Jackson had the season that he had. Because I think he's one of the best run blockers in the league, and he doesn't let anybody get across from his side.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, the Ravens, I feel like, are always known for a pretty good offensive line. So, I mean,
Yeah,
whatever they do.
The Ravens have, at least under Jim Harbaugh, have consistently built through the trenches.
Yeah, that's how you're supposed to do it, and it fits their style too. So
yeah.
I went another way. I went Jake Matthews from the Falcons.
Okay.
I know a little bit about him because I usually pick him in Madden when I do like a fantasy draft. So I feel like Matthews maybe has not lived up to the hype when he first came in, but I think he's getting there slowly but surely. I don't think he's going to kill me in the tackle position.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there was significant hype because I remember he was a very high draft pick. Was he not? Let me see. Yeah, he was the 6th overall pick in 2014.
Yeah.
So yeah, but he has been good. He's been to a couple to a Pro Bowl. But yeah, I think he is expected to be one of the best in the league. But I mean, his rookie season, he was rated the worst tackle in the NFL.
Perfect.
No, but he's been rated like as one of the most improved players in the league every year since. So he's definitely been good, but again, yeah, like not where he was probably expected to be.
So where should I have went then? If you took Ronnie Stanley, where should I have went?
I do think Jake Matthews is probably at this point probably a top 5 tackle in the league.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So I mean, we overlapped on the center. So like.
Yeah, that's it.
What's
Did
like
we
another
overlap on any skill positions?
No, I made sure not to.
Okay.
But like, who's like another center that would belong on a list like this?
Another center?
Yeah. I know you put you on the spot. I didn't prep you.
Yeah. I guess.
I mean, the Cowboys have a good center, don't they? I always forget their names though.
Yeah, but well, they had Travis Frederick, but he just retired.
That's not good. All right, don't pick him.
Yeah, he's the guy I would have said, but Frederick just retired. I guess.
Who's the Colts center?
Marquise Pouncey with the Steelers is good.
He is good. He is good. I mean, if it makes you feel any better, Tyler Cassidy wrote in, and for the offensive line, he just said, "I want that 300-pound dude." So
didn't specify a team.
No, just the 300 pound. I mean, that's essentially what I wanted to write, so he beat me to it. But I had to have a little more.
Of course,
on my picks.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the painful part of the program, guys. We're gonna get into the players that you actually know now, with the skill position, and this is when we had a lot of people write in. So let's start off with tight end, Perk.
Tight end. I was between 2 players.
I think I have the one that you
a center just popped into my head, which is Rodney Hudson with the Raiders.
Okay.
But yeah, so I was between 2 whatchamacallit. I was with 2 tight ends, and that is the brother of Jason Kelce, Travis Kelce, and the guy that I ended up picking, which is George Kittle with the 49ers. I think George Kittle moves like a wide receiver. He's got incredible hands, good blocker. I think I think maybe a year ago it would have been Kelce as the top tight end in the league, but I think Kittle has cemented himself as the top tight end in the league right now.
Do you think it's like far and away, or do you think? Because I have
still
Kelsey.
think it's close. I still think it's close. But like they might switch on and off every season. But like Kelsey's a guy who I think is going to be a Hall of Famer. And Kittle, it took him a couple of years to get going, but he's a beast.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it more as like a 1A, 1B.
And exactly.
I wouldn't really argue against like either one.
There are cases for either guy.
I took Travis Kelce because I feel like he'd be really fun to hang out with. So he's just a guy I like. I mean, because the football, I don't have to defend the football. I mean, he's a hell of a player.
Yeah. I sent him a fruit basket at the end of the 2015 season because he helped me win. So I won my fantasy league because I was down by like a lot, like 20 points going into the Sunday night game, and he had like 180 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns. He helped me win by 1 point in the game. So I mailed a edible arrangement to the Chiefs practice facility to his name. I have no idea if he ever got it, but it was the thought that counts. I said thank you for helping me win my fantasy league.
I didn't know if you were going like you and him shared a night like Derek Jeter and like some random girl and like you just have baskets on deck. Like
Travis Kelce and I have made love on 6 of the 7 continents.
Oh, that's funny. So yeah, George Kittle is someone Pat wrote too. So Pat agrees with a lot of your list, to be honest. So I think you guys talked a little, but
we did not talk at all.
Who else? John 2 wrote in all the Vikings. So Purple
all the Vikings, of course.
Kyle Rudolph. I mean, Kyle Rudolph had one really good year, but I feel like he really took a step back last year.
He's never come back from that. He had like the one like elite year, and then he's just been like a shell of himself every year. And I know that because I draft him in fantasy every fucking year.
Me too. He always ends up on my team at some point in the year.
I get to the point where like I usually don't take tight end until like the 6th round maybe. And so like all the great ones are gone, and I'm like, shit. Like that year that I took Travis Kelce was that I won was like the one year I took one early, but so I'm every year I'm in like the 6th, 7th round and everybody's good, and I'm talking myself into Kyle Rudolph every year. I'm like he's good. Like if Cousins can get him the ball a little bit, I think he'll have a good season, and then he doesn't. He has like 400 yards.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm in the same boat. Like I always kind of like forget to pick a tight end, because like no, I feel like I also get screwed. Like the round everyone picks tight end, like I pick at the end of it, like every time.
Yeah.
And like once someone starts picking them and they just get off the board, it's like
that's
real
the
slim
worst.
pickings.
That's the worst. Is like whatever round that like whatever position starts going off the board and you don't have it. Like you're like all right, let me. Get a fucking like dirt bike on the in Queens here. So it's always like, you know what, I might try to get a 5th wide receiver here. Don't feel too comfortable with that position yet. And then it's like, oh no, kickers are all going off the board.
Always.
And then or exactly like tight end. It's usually tight end where like the first like big tight end goes, that everybody goes tight end after that. And you're like, shit.
And like if I like you said kicker, like if I don't get Justin Tucker, I cry. Like
I go for Justin Tucker every year because I know he's gonna get me 10 points a game.
Always. He's so fucking good. And then Cassidy wrote in again. He picked Zach Ertz of the Eagles.
Ertz is a beast as well. Yeah.
Awesome.
They're the top 3. Kelce, Kittle, and Ertz. Ertz.
But I think Ertz is like clearly 3.
Yes. Yeah. He's the 3 for sure. Yeah. And then like you said, it's 1A, 1B between Kelce and Kittle, and you can really put it with whatever order you want.
Yeah. And I mean, then like the Eagles have a pair of tight ends because Goddard is really good too.
Yeah, absolutely.
especially for a number two tight end.
They have an embarrassment of riches in the receiving corps. Well, not the
Yeah.
receiving corps because their wide receivers are not that good, but the tight ends, they've got an embarrassment of riches because they go, either way they want to hit you. There's nothing you can really do about it.
Talk about
especially if you're the Giants and you have no linebackers who can cover tight ends.
Well, the Giants have never been able to cover a tight end.
No, not in my lifetime.
All right.
Jason Witten is a Hall of Famer solely because you could count on him to put up 200 yards and 3 touchdowns twice a year.
That's my
against
dad.
One team.
That was my dad's favorite player.
Fuck that guy.
Oh, Emmitt Smith, and then
the worst.
And then Jason.
Jason Witten is not only did he destroy my favorite team every chance he could, but he's also the worst color commentator in the history of football.
He is so bad. He was terrible. I was happy that he went back to play because he wasn't that good.
He went to the Raiders, right?
I thought he retired.
He's now with the Cowboys. No, hold on. Let's look this up.
I got it. Yeah, the Raiders.
Yeah.
Wow.
Whatever, pal.
That's funny.
38 years old. Don't break a hip, pal.
Probably will. All right, let's get into wide receiver because this is the fun one. I think this and quarterback is where we really want to hammer home.
I'm very interested in where you went quarterback because I sent you my list, but you haven't told me anything.
Yeah.
So that's just for the listeners who. I don't know anything that Scott has.
Yeah, and we didn't talk about yours either. You just sent it to me, so.
Yeah.
But did you pick like wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2, or did you just pick like 2?
I don't want to
go out of order.
Not necessarily. I picked who I think are the 2 best in the league.
Okay, so we'll just go
one I think is absolute. And that's Michael Thomas with the Saints. I think he's absolutely the best wide receiver in the league, without question. He's got the best hands. He's one of the best route runners I've seen in the last 15 years. Mm-hmm. And he can stretch the field from working outside. And we've seen him work the slot too at 6'3". We've seen him work the slot because he's got just ridiculous breakaway speed, and like I said, the best hands. And when you've got Breeze putting it in tight windows for you, it's like a match made in heaven.
Yeah, and look, there's something to be said. Like, Breeze is a very good quarterback, but there's a lot to be said for when a defense knows the ball is going to Michael Thomas and they can't
and they still can't stop him. Yeah,
like you think about other sports, like like basketball, for example. You could game plan for a guy. And you could really, stifle him, but it feels like there's no stifling Michael Thomas. I mean, because defenses have to plan for him, and it just doesn't matter.
This isn't. This Saints team is different because it's not like in the years past where he had Jimmy Graham and Ted Ginn and Marcus Colston, and if he's throwing it to Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas had, I think, like 180 targets last year.
Yeah, something absurd.
When Breeze throws the ball, he's throwing it to Michael Thomas, and the defense still can't do anything about it. That goes to how good Michael Thomas is. He's the best in the league, bar none.
You want to hear something crazy, Perk? So we had 4 people send in wide receivers, not including myself. Michael Thomas is only mentioned once, and that's by you. Like, I just feel like people don't fully understand how good he is. They really don't.
I want to pull up his numbers from this past season.
Yeah, I think a lot of people
just read them to people because maybe he's under the radar, but I don't know. You might be able to tell me. I don't know if this is good, but he caught 149 passes this year. I don't know if that's good.
I think that's more than the entire Jets team.
Yeah, he caught 149 passes in 16 games.
Yeah, look, I mean, part of the reason why I like him, and I think kind of goes to why like some people just may not understand like how good he is. He's not flashy. He just goes in, does his job, walks out the field.
No, he makes it look easy.
You know,
he makes it look easy. I'm going to try to calculate this. He averages 9 catches a game.
It's absurd.
He had.
That's a really good game. Like nine catches.
Yeah,
is a really good game.
yeah. 9 catches gets you like offensive player of the week.
Yeah.
He had 1,725 yards receiving. Now that averaged over 16 games comes out to 108 yards a game.
Yeah, it's absurd.
Again, 9 catches, 108 yards a game, pretty much gets you in the running for offensive player of the week or something.
Yeah.
I
mean, look,
he did that every week. 9 touchdowns. Yeah.
So I'm gonna give my.
I don't know what else you want me to tell you. He 80.5 catch percentage.
Yeah, it's. I mentioned that stat,
which was actually down from last year when he had 85% catch percentage.
He's slipping. He's already dropping off, man.
He's he's terrible. Yards from scrimmage, yards from scrimmage is actually less than his yards receiving because I think he had a like a backwards pass or something like that he took to the house. But yeah.
Oh darn.
Yeah. No, and this guy, he's only in his 4th season, and every year he went 92 catches. This is his rookie season. 92 catches for 1,137 yards receiving. Second season, 104 catches for 1,245 yards receiving. His third season, 125 catches for 1,405 yards receiving. And this past season, his 4th, 149 catches for 1,725 yards receiving. There is nobody close to him in the league.
Is he already a Hall of Famer with those 4 years?
He's
Probably
definitely
not.
In the discussion.
But he's gonna.
He's in the discussion. Yeah, if he has, I'm going to say if he has
2 more years,
3 more years.
Okay.
3 more years that are on par with that, then absolutely.
Yeah, which is nuts.
Yeah.
Because he's already 4 for 4, so he needs 2 more years out of maybe 10, and he'll be good.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So I went a different route. This isn't like my number 1, but this is who I have slotted where you had Michael Thomas slotted. So you said Michael Thomas, very good route runner. Totally agree. Another guy who's a really good route runner, probably a little underrated. Another guy who somehow
I don't know where this is going.
Somehow always finds his way on my fantasy team. Keenan Allen of the Chargers.
Okay, so you were going serious. All right, yeah. Keenan Allen, very good, very underrated.
Yes.
But I think what underrates him is that he gets hurt like every season.
Yeah, he got hurt a lot, but he's put together 3 back to back really good years.
Yeah.
He also runs a lot of short routes, so he's not like that number 1 guy that you think of a lot.
He's a big like dump off guy. He has been for Rivers like a big dump off guy, and then he takes a short screen pass and then takes it 20 yards. So he's not like a Michael Thomas who is going to be going over the top on you a lot. But he's really quick, really good hands. You're absolutely right. He had 3 really good seasons back to back. Yeah, after only playing 1 game in 2016, he got hurt opening week.
Yeah, tore his ACL.
Yeah,
so in 2017, he put up 102 catches, round up to 1,400 yards, 6 touchdowns. 2018, 97 catches, 1,200 yards, 6 touchdowns. 2019, 104, 1,200 yards, and 6 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I mean, consistent. And, 68% catch rate over the past 3 years, one of the best in the league.
Yeah.
Look, it's nothing sexy, right? But, it's
definitely not a sexy pick. It's a good pick.
He pairs well with my other receiver that we'll get into later.
Okay.
But we have a lot of listener responses to wide receiver.
Who's their wide receiver 1 that everybody sent in? Or do you want to just talk about who people sent in after we talk about our second wide receivers?
Yeah, we'll just do our second wide receiver actually, because
Okay.
it's not really like clear. Some people only sent in one, some people sent in
Okay.
two. So,
Sure.
who do you have
want to go?
as your
Do you want to
one?
go first, or all right? Sure.
No, you go.
I have DeAndre Hopkins with Arizona.
Oh, that's right. I put Houston down like a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Because he should
Cardinals
be in
got him
still.
in an absolute steal because Bill O'Brien is a fucking moron. Who was like, oh, the lifeless husk of David Johnson for DeAndre Hopkins? Okay. Yeah, he's an absolute stud. DeAndre Hopkins, again, who, again, has unbelievable hands. Unbelievable hands. Good route runner. Not as fast as say, Michael Thomas, but does have breakaway speed. And again, goes over the top, jumps over any cornerback or any safety that's coming near him, wins every single battle that's in the air. And it's not like he's crazy tall. He's only 6'1". But
he plays so much bigger though.
He plays exactly. He plays so much bigger than 6'1". He plays 6'4".
Yeah, I actually thought he was. I thought he was taller than 6'1". Like I never even looked up his height.
Yeah. Do you want to hear his down year?
Yes.
His down year in 2016. His down year would be his rookie season, but I'm not going to go into that because he was 21. I'm not going to rookie season is unfair.
That's fair.
But his down year at age 24 in 2016, he had 78 catches for 954 yards and 4 touchdowns. That's his down year.
It's a pretty good down
year. Which is a very good year for every wide receiver. Every wide receiver. The last 3 years, 2017, all Pro Bowl selections the last 3 years. 2017, and I think all Pro as well. Yeah, team all Pro the last 3 years. Now, number 96 receptions for 1,378 yards and 13 touchdowns. Then 2018, 115 receptions on 1,572 yards on 11 touchdowns. And last season, missing a game because I don't think he played the last week because they had clinched the playoff spot, so they rested him. 104 receptions, 1,165 yards, and 7 touchdowns. He's dynamic. I don't think there's any other way to describe it. And I think putting him, even though Deshaun Watson is an excellent quarterback, I don't want to discredit Deshaun Watson. But
better not.
What hurts, if there's anything that hurts DeAndre Hopkins, it is that Will Fuller exists. And so, they have Will Fuller, they have Kenny Stills. Mm-hmm. So they had targets to go to other than him. So that's really the only thing is that there's 2 other wide receivers who could be a number 1 on another team.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I don't agree. I don't feel that strongly about Fuller, but I get that he's very talented.
That's fair. But yeah, Fuller, if he didn't get hurt, he would have easily had 1,000 yards receiving at 670 games. But they have other receiving options, and I think he will be a really good foil in Arizona because he's going to give
Kyler Murray.
He's going to give him a big, tall weapon. Fitzgerald is, I think, top 2 or 3 best wide receiver to ever live.
Mm-hmm. Definitely that we've seen at least.
Yeah, in our lifetime, I think he plays a different style than someone like Randy Moss, but you can totally make the argument, I think. The absolute first ballot, no question, Hall of Famer, but he's 38, I think. I think Larry Fitzgerald's 38. This is probably his last year, so it's going to be, going to take the pressure off of Fitzgerald and give Kyler a new target. And I think he's going to. I think he might have his best season yet, Hopkins, this coming year in Arizona.
I think so too. He may just do it out of spite too, because
Yeah,
he's
got a chip on his shoulder. He the reason he wanted. So this is the whole thing. In case anybody for whatever reason is not caught up, DeAndre Hopkins was traded from Houston because he wanted a new contract.
Yeah.
He wanted a new contract to be paid like one of the top wide receivers in the league.
Which is fair.
Bill O'Brien said no. They did not get along. Bill O'Brien traded him and a 4th-round pick for David Johnson, who has not had a good year in probably 3 years, and a 2nd-round pick.
It's not good.
To trade a top, I think Hopkins is top 3 in the league right now. So to trade absolutely top 5, to do that and not get a 1st-round pick back, even with David Johnson attached. What are you doing? And how do you still have a job then? How is this guy running a football team?
He has to have some dirt on the owner or something.
Absolutely. He's got videos of somebody doing like golden showers or something.
For sure. So yeah, Hopkins is great. I mean, look, his nickname is the Nuke, so like obviously he's a bomb. No pun intended.
And his mom is blind, and she hangs out in the end zone every game, and he gives her every ball that he catches the touchdown of. He's great. He's a great dude.
I didn't even know that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's really cool. I really like that.
Yeah.
Like that.
She always gets first row seats in the end zone, and every time he catches the touchdown, he runs over and gives her the ball.
That's good. You like to see stuff like that.
Good dude.
I went with Tyreek Hill for my receiver.
Maybe not the best person.
No, not.
You may be going from a good person to a terrible person.
Polar opposite of DeAndre Hopkins and Larry Fitzgerald, who we just talked about.
Still an excellent wide receiver.
But yeah, I mean,
probably the fastest in the league. Yeah, probably the fastest in the league.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's going to take the lid off the defense. Keenan Allen's going to catch him underneath, and we're going to have a great game. But yeah, Tyreek Hill. I think there was a story that came out of the Super Bowl was like, Mahomes looked at Hill and he was like, "I need you to make a play," and then like the next drive he hits him for that bomb down the sideline on, I think it was 3rd and long, right?
Yeah.
And that stuff just like it means nothing, but it means a lot to me at the same time. Like, I need someone, because a lot of times you see like you see fast receivers all the time, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of times they're just like deep threats, like they don't do anything like that great for you. But Tyreek Hill is not that.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. Like stories like that, like to me, that's like the stuff of legend, where it's like, hey, right now we need a big play. I need you to step up. It's like, yeah, fucking, I got it. No, give me the ball. I got it.
And it could be completely fake, but I'm gonna believe it till I die.
Sure. until they have sideline, audio, and we know that that's not what happened.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, Tyreek Hill. We gloat a lot about DeAndre Hopkins. The bad guy stuff with Tyreek Hill makes me like a little like skeptical if like they really know that much about him. But hell of a football player, great receiver. Nickname's the Cheetah. Love that as someone who's extremely slow. So guy after my heart there. And he's undersized too.
Yeah, I think he's 5'10".
Yep, perfect.
Yeah,
I like those guys.
But yeah, like I drafted him early the last 2 years in fantasy. Last year because I had Mahomes and I wanted to get the double up. But I drafted him the last 2 years, and both times I had to like talk myself into like, you're not drafting the person, you're drafting the football player. You don't have to root for the person.
Yeah.
You have to root for the football player on Sundays. And I'm like, I really had to talk myself into that. Into taking him because he's an excellent wide receiver. I think I even think he's underrated.
He may be, because I think a lot of people think like what I said, like he's just that fast guy on the outside.
No,
but,
he's got great hands. He catches everything.
Yeah,
he catches everything that's in the vicinity of him.
Yeah, I mean,
what is his catch rate?
I just lost my receiver page, so that's gonna be.
I'm pulling him up on Pro Football Reference because I want to see. His catch rate is actually lower than I thought it would be. His catch rate is 65.2%, which is still like very high among wide receivers.
That could be that could be lower because of all the deep routes he runs too.
Maybe.
Because I feel like that's a problem with Mike Evans too. Like Evans has a lot of drops, but that's because he also runs a lot of deep routes and has well, he had pretty inaccurate quarterbacks throwing to him for his whole career so far. So it's a little different than Tyreek Hill.
That's something to go off of with Winston, because with Winston signing with New Orleans, learning, trying to learn under Drew Brees, got LASIK eye surgery because he was like, oh, I need these to play. And so he, and trying to change his, get an attitude change by, going into a different system, maybe a more strict system. I think that he's going to be the starter in a year.
I think so too.
I think this is Brees' last year. Right, because his contract's
up this year. I think he's
I'm
on a 1-year deal.
I'm 99% sure. So I just want to check that to make sure that I'm not incorrect. Spotrac is a good site.
He's only earning a base salary.
No, he is signed through 2021. So I was incorrect. So he just signed a 2-year deal. That's what it was. In 2 years, if he decides that I want to be back up for 2 years, maybe, but a guy like Michael Thomas, who we were talking about before, a guy like Michael Thomas might change Jameis Winston's game, because Michael Thomas is a guy who catches everything that comes near him.
Yep.
He's got the best hands in the league. And I think he's a wide receiver who makes his quarterback better, not the other way around. There are quarterbacks who make their wide receivers better because they, if you have to put it in one spot, that quarterback puts it in that one spot every single time.
For sure.
I think that somebody like Russell Wilson, and like Aaron Rodgers have the accuracy that pinpoint accuracy. They thread the needle every time they need to. But Michael Thomas is the opposite in that Michael Thomas, not to say that he's making Drew Brees better. I don't want to sound like that, but Michael Thomas is
he may be
a wide receiver that maybe Drew Brees might be a scrub. I'm just saying.
Look, he's 38. Not many people do it this long. If you got a guy like Michael Thomas, definitely helps him out.
I think Michael Thomas is the type of player that makes his quarterback better.
For sure, I agree. So let's move on here. So John 2 wrote in. He listed Adam Thielen twice because
of course, Adam Thielen twice. Adam Thielen is somebody that I absolutely thought about. Adam Thielen again is another guy who just doesn't drop anything.
Just balls out, man. He goes balls to the walls.
Works the slot. Works outside. Goes over the top. He does everything.
Tyler Cassidy wrote.
I don't know if he's top 5. I don't know if he's top 5 or he's top 10. And he may be in the 6-7 spot for me, Adam Thielen.
I'd probably go top 10.
Right?
Yeah. I'd be pretty skeptical to go top 5 right off the cuff, to be honest.
Yeah.
Top 10.
That's why I'm saying. I think absolutely top 10. That's why I think I think he's probably, if I were to just go through everybody, I think he's probably in my 6 or 7 spot.
Probably. I think that's a fair spot.
Yeah.
Cassidy wrote in. He wrote Odell Beckham. Cassidy's a Giant fan. Look, Odell is still.
I love Odell.
He's a headache, for sure.
Yeah.
But look, there are a lot worse headaches than Odell Beckham. All he does is act like an idiot. It's not like he's getting arrested or killing people. Yeah. So I like Odell. Talk about throw the ball anywhere.
I'm an Odell apologist. Admittedly. Odell acts out of frustration. The dude wants to win. I don't think that can be any more clear that he just wants to win. And so when he doesn't, he gets frustrated. And I don't think it's any more obvious than that. And the entire Giants roster backed him up on that after they, when they traded him. The entire Giants roster was that's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a locker room cancer. He's not a headache. He's a good teammate and he wants to win. And that's it. So, if I'm listening to an entire, if an entire locker room is saying that, I don't think everybody's lying,
No, yeah, for sure. There's definitely strength in numbers there.
Sure.
Cassidy also went AJ Green, which I think is a name people are starting to forget a little because he hasn't been on the field in a
because
while.
he's been hurt a lot. He's been hurt a lot.
But he is so good when healthy.
Absolutely. And he's another guy who makes it look easy.
Mm-hmm.
That's like I don't think AJ Green was ever a household name, but I think he was always one of the best in the league.
For sure.
And for a stretch there, I think he was the best in the league. But yeah, like he's a guy who again stretches the field, long, skinny guy, beats gets all the jump balls.
Mm-hmm.
But he's been hurt the last several years, and if he can have a bounce back, that's exactly what I'm saying. If he can have a bounce back with Joe Burrow this year, and give Burrow a top wide receiver to start his career off, I think he's going to be back in the limelight.
For sure. Tyler Diamore of Diamore Designs, they made the End of the Bench Show shirts for our monthly supporter. So you can follow them on Instagram.
Very nice work they did.
He does. He does great work. He really kills it. Him and his fiance, soon to be wife. They really kill it. He picked another guy. I wanted to put this guy on, and I just didn't.
Quincy Enunwa.
Julio Jones, man. We didn't talk about Julio.
Julio Jones is excellent, and I thought about Julio Jones rather than DeAndre Hopkins. To be honest with you, I was going back and forth between the two because I think those are the top three in the league.
He's so good, so fast, gets open at will.
And it's bizarre because Julio Jones is like bizarrely, and I feel like another under the radar guy.
Yeah, which makes no sense.
You don't see a lot of people walking around with Julio Jones jerseys.
No, usually Matt Ryan though. Matty Ice, my boy. Talk about a guy always on my fantasy team. Matt Ryan.
Ryan all the time.
Always gets a stretch on my team.
The unfortunate thing is I don't think we'll see anybody wearing Julio Jones jerseys again because the new Falcons jerseys are awful. So,
take on those.
He's excellent again. Like I said, I think he's top three. I was, Michael Thomas was a definite for me. I had to have him. And for my second wide receiver, I was jumbling between DeAndre Hopkins and Julio Jones, and I wanted DeAndre Hopkins to give the shout because I thought you might give Julio Jones a shout.
No, I probably should have, to be honest. But I think when you picked Thomas and Hopkins, like, you have the better wide receivers between the two of us. But Pat may give you a run for your money because he went DeAndre Hopkins as well and Julio Jones. So, I mean, we talked about both of them already, but I think, like, you could make an argument that, 2 and 3 may be better than 1 and 2,
Possibly.
Probably
I don't
not,
think so.
But possibly. But... I got to give Pat some love.
Julio Jones is named Jet for a reason. But, I'm going to go through his list. Let's go. We've been doing list 3. I mean, fuck.
But we might
as well do his last 7 seasons.
His numbers are tough because, he doesn't get a lot of touchdowns for whatever reason.
I know. I know. And I don't know if that's because of Calvin Ridley. I don't know if that's because,
scheme or whatever. Because, there was a stretch where he didn't get a touch in, the red zone or whatever, right? Yes.
Because here's the thing is, they would go to Devontae Parker a lot in the red zone. But I want to look because I can't. I'm trying to think of who I'm thinking of that he always had. Yeah. Well, they had Mohamed Sanu. They had Taylor Gabriel. And I want to go.
Did he play with White?
White.
Rodney White, I think. Yeah, Rodney White.
Roddy White.
He was always on my fantasy team too.
I think so. I'm trying to find. I'm looking through their seasons, and I can't remember who the other wide receiver's name is. I think I'm thinking of Mohamed Sanu.
I think so too. I mean, we named everyone that I could think of.
Yeah, and then Calvin Ridley last year, and the last 2 years as well. He's still the top guy by far, but there are still, the Falcons always have good receiving core.
Yeah.
So that's why.
Sure.
But I mean, I'll keep it again. I'll just go through his yardage over the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. 2014. Hold on, I gotta get this pop-up opened up. 2014. 2014, 1,593 yards receiving. 2015, 1,871 yards receiving. 2016, 1,409 yards receiving. 2017, 1,444 yards receiving. 2018, 1,677 yards receiving. 2019, 1,394 yards receiving.
I mean, what more do you want?
Exactly. And he's 30 years old, and he's not slowing down anytime soon.
No, for sure. So, Perk, we're going to do running back now, and I got to ask you, is this recency bias, or do you really think Derrick Henry is the best?
It is a little recency bias, okay. But I was going to go with the homer pick, and I was going to go Saquon.
That's who I was expecting.
And I did it. I initially wrote down Saquon, and I thought about it. And I said, if I want a team right now, I'm picking the best right now. Okay, I'm picking Derrick Henry, who cannot be tackled.
No, he's a fucking truck.
He carries guys for 20 yards on his back. He is. If you look up the word monster in the dictionary, his picture is there, and it's him on the run on Thursday night. Throwing 4 Jacksonville defenders to the ground while he runs for 99 yards. I do think right now, after last season, I do think he's the best running back in the league right now. Because again, he cannot be stopped.
For sure. He can't. And I mean,
give him the ball every down, and he will run for a first down every down.
I mean, he carried a team to the championship.
Conference championship.
Yeah. So, I mean, you don't do that as a running back. You simply don't.
No.
There have been a lot of really good running backs in this league.
Running backs generally do not have that sort of impact on the game.
Especially nowadays. We should say nowadays. But I know since you're a Giant fan, I know you probably want to talk a little bit about Saquon.
I was going to go Saquon because Saquon is probably the slickest, shiftiest runner in the league right now.
Yeah.
Maybe Christian McCaffrey comes close to him, but Christian McCaffrey, I think, is more of like a route runner, honestly, as a running back. And Saquon is more of a pure running back to me. I could be wrong. I think that's just my opinion. But, to me, Saquon, I think nobody runs harder and has more like burst and breakaway speed than him. You can look at the play against Philly where he runs for like the 65-yard touchdown. He gets around the edge to the first down and then holds up the peace sign, and there are still guys within a yard of him, and he throws up the peace sign and then just bursts away immediately.
That's funny. And Cassidy put Saquon down, so he was right there with you as a Giant fan. I went Dalvin Cook from the Vikings.
Okay.
Because I had him on my fantasy team, and he was like the lifeblood of my fantasy team. I held on as long as I did because of Dalvin Cook. So I had to show him love. John also went Dalvin Cook, no surprise. There's a theme going. John stopped answering after running back. He didn't want to go Kirk Cousins as quarterback.
Here's the thing, though, and I think John's going to be upset by this, and I know we're getting off of running back, but
that's okay. John's always upset.
I don't get that because Kirk Cousins has had 2 of the best years by a Vikings quarterback in history. Last year, he threw 26 touchdowns for 6 interceptions.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm with you. Kirk Cousins is kind of
107.4 quarterback rating.
Yeah. I think the media just kind of makes him a joke, but he's still a good solid quarterback. He's not, look, is he a top 5 guy? No, he'll probably never be a top 5 guy. But you could win with Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, absolutely you could. His first year with Minnesota, he set records in every category for a Vikings passer ever.
Yeah, if
4,300 yards passing, 30 touchdowns. He only threw 10 interceptions. He doesn't turn over the ball all that much. So that's that's the good thing about Kirk Cousins as well. And again, and that year he had a 99.7 QB rating.
Yeah, I feel like the big thing with Cousins is like he may not ever throw you to a win, but he's probably not going to throw you to a loss either. Which is all you really need.
No, I don't think he will be. I don't think he will be the guy like the reason that you lost the game.
Right, I agree. Just going back to running back, so yeah, Dalvin Cook. I actually had Kirk last year when I drafted. Mm-hmm. I had Dalvin Cook and Saquon Barkley.
Oh my God!
And then Saquon obviously just kind of ruined
my life. Dalvin Cook. I took Dalvin Cook too. And who else did I take?
And then I traded Saquon when he was hurt for Jones. So I had Cook and Jones. So I was still killing it.
Oh, I had Zeke, I think.
That's a good one.
I had too. Zeke and
Zeke's like a dumbass, so I didn't want to put him on my list,
He's a fucking moron.
Also, my dad's a Cowboy fan, so I didn't want to put any Cowboys on. I made like a point in my head to not put any Cowboys on.
You're a Jets fan, right?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, okay. But you didn't go Le'Veon Bell?
Honestly, I thought about it, to be honest, because I like Le'Veon, and I think I like him
more because he had a bad season, but I mean he was also hurt. But yeah.
And he had Gase.
He had Adam Gase. Yeah. Zeke also looks like an Ewok.
What do you mean?
Star Wars. Like, look up an Ewok, and it's Zeke Elliott.
Ewok Star Wars. Oh yeah, for sure.
It's Zeke Elliott.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good call. Pat also went Derrick Henry, and then he wrote Christina McCaffrey. I'm assuming he meant Christian McCaffrey.
I think he means Christian McCaffrey.
I googled.
Though I have heard that his sister is very good.
I googled Christina McCaffrey, and I wasn't that impressed. Google's actually smart enough to
Did you mean
Christian? So there's just no relevant Christina McCaffrey in the world. So I think it's safe to say Pat meant Christian.
I don't know. There's I don't know what you. Yeah, no. There's a Christina McCaffrey who's the director of Major and Planned Gifts at University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. So I think that's definitely an important Christina McCaffrey. I don't know what you're talking about. I think that's pretty rude, to be pretty honest with you. She's also the developmental director of what? I don't know, because it just says developmental director.
Of the world. She's not doing a great job. That's for sure. Let's go to quarterback pair, because I think we've been doing this for a while. And we're going to – you have someone I'd like to talk about last, so I'm going to go with mine first. Actually, I'm going to go with the listener first. Howard D. Moore wrote in Drew Brees, who we've talked about a lot already.
Yeah.
He actually talked about my guy, too. I told you have to be nice to him, Deshaun Watson.
Oh, that's who you chose, was Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, I had Russell Wilson / Deshaun Watson. And as soon as I saw you were ready, I flipped the coin, and Deshaun Watson came up.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying I flipped the coin because I think they are.
You should have stuck with Russell Wilson, because Russell Wilson should have won the MVP over Lamar Jackson last year. That's a hot take.
And me and you talked about that when
we did.
Lamar came
out. Because I was on the Lambie Lodge, and I was discussing with Nick Lambie, and Nick Lambie said that Russell Wilson is not a top 5 quarterback, and I said, "Are you out of your mind?"
Top 3, easy.
Yeah, but without a doubt.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't even. Do you think Lamar's a top 3? Because I struggle with that one. Yeah, I struggle with that.
Not yet. He had a good season. He had one good season. And he got exposed the last week of the year, and then week 17 he was exposed, as well as in the playoff game.
Yeah.
Defenses learned to adjust to him at the end of the year. He had a really good season. I'm not taking that away from him, but I don't think that. I think it's preposterous to say that he's top 3 or even top 5 yet. Top 6, 7, sure. But yeah, no, I'm not calling him top 5 yet, and I'm definitely not calling him top 3.
Yeah. But the reason
To
why I
me,
was choosing between Watson and Wilson is that I
mhm,
feel like they both do pretty well with not a lot around them. Like I know Deshaun Watson had
definitely,
Hopkins and he has good receivers there. But like
definitely,
he also has Bill O'Brien, so that kind of sucks. And Russell Wilson, like the best receiver he's had was
he's got no
Doug
supporting
Baldwin.
cast. He's
Like
got no
this,
supporting cast.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I like guys who can like make the best out of nothing. And Deshaun
Hmm.
Watson, I really liked in college. I liked him coming out of the draft. So I kind of
Yeah.
always just had a soft spot and stuck with him. So that's
Yeah.
why I went with him. But there are definitely
Definitely.
better options.
Definitely. Yeah. Well, Wilson is the definition of like that of like what I talked about being a like the quarterback that makes everybody around him better.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, he's such a great leader.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope the car that just passed didn't ruin the volume or anything.
That's fine.
But
you should have heard last night before I edited with Pat.
Oh, really?
It was terrible.
But yeah, and Deshaun Watson again, he's been bit by the injury bug, as have many guys that we've talked about. But
yeah,
I think he's a dynamic playmaker, great on the run, elite arm strength, puts it in, threads the needle every time he needs to.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think he's super underrated as well.
Yeah, I don't think he gets the love that he deserves.
No, not at all. Not at all.
What we don't have to worry. What we don't have to worry about not getting the love they deserve is a guy you, Cassidy, and Pat chose, and that is really the only choice that there is.
It's the only choice, right?
Patrick Mahomes. So I'm gonna give you the floor to just go off on him.
Wait, Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah, I think he's pretty good, right? He's like a really good kid.
I went with Mitch Trubisky.
Mitch Trubisky or Kirk Cousins?
I'll go with Patrick Mahomes, I guess. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, they call him Showtime. They call him Magic Man, the musician, Patrick the gunslinger, Mahome Boy, Kermit the Frog.
Kermit the Frog.
he's absolutely ridiculous. To his first year, not his rookie season, because he played one game his rookie season, the last game of the year. But his first year, played the full 16 games, 66 completion percentage, 5,097 yards his first year for 50 touchdowns at 23 years old.
Fucking insane, dude.
Then he followed that up with, not as good because Tyreek Hill was hurt for quite a bit of it. He was hurt for 2 years. He had half as many touchdowns, 26, 5 interceptions, still threw for 4,031 yards.
Still won a Super Bowl.
Still ran, like crazy. I want to find his rushing stats. Because 2018 he rushed for 272 yards. Last year rushed for 218 yards. 2 touchdowns each season. And like you just mentioned, won a Super Bowl. Came back, let it come back in every game he played.
Yeah, that's right. People forget. No, I don't think people don't forget the playoff run, but like that's probably going to go down as one of like the most iconic like runs of an athlete or team.
It absolutely should. It absolutely should. He finally got Andy Reid a ring. But yeah, in the division round, in the championship round, and in the Super Bowl, came back every time.
Yeah, dude, he's incredible. I mean, I can't I'm just gonna echo everything you said. I mean,
I don't know. Yeah, if you want to see why Mahomes is good, just look up his fucking no look passes. Like,
that's the best. That's the best thing I've ever seen on a football field. I think
it is the most like. For years, I would always say that the most impressive thing that I watch on the football field is Rodgers like running it back and forth along from sideline to sideline to make a cross-body pass 60 yards to the other side of the field. I've always said, that's the most impressive thing I've ever seen a quarterback do. And then I saw Mahomes throw, I think, 3 no-look passes
dimes
for first down dimes. like on the money for first downs and touchdowns in his first season of like playing.
Yeah. You could see the baseball in him because like when he does that, he just looks like a shortstop. Like when he makes passes like that.
And it's not just no look. It's like across the body, on the run, no look passes. He does things that I don't think we've ever seen done on a football field before.
Because you shouldn't be able to do them.
Yeah, it shouldn't be humanly possible.
You shouldn't be able to toy around like that on the professional football field where people could literally kill you.
Where you have 250-pound, monsters running at you.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be able to do that.
He's incredible. We're going to talk about those 250-pound monsters the next time you're on when we do the defense.
Okay.
That's going to be
so for defense. I'm going to go a different way. Then I'm going to go with guys that I like. Because I feel that I should have gone with guys I like here.
Okay.
I wish I would have asked you what you wanted me to do with it. But I'm happy that I did who I think is the best at each position. But yeah, sure. Next week I will go with like guys that I like on defense.
Yeah, and I think maybe I'll just take the best then. We'll flip flop. But yeah, I mean, anyway, Perk. I mean, I know this takes a lot of time to think of, and we've been recording for a while here, so definitely going to thank you for your time. Let you get out. Let you enjoy the rest of your night, guys.
I mean, I don't know what you think I'm doing with my free time. I work and then I come home and there's a pandemic, so I'm not going anywhere. So it gives me something to do. I very much like this idea.
All right. Well, then the real reason I'm going to let you go now is because I turned my air conditioner off when you record, and I'm literally sweating through my shirt. So
there you go.
I'm going to leave everyone with that image. So thank you all for listening. Follow us on Instagram at @the_on_the_bench, Twitter at @EOTB. If you want to be a supporter, the support link is in the podcast descriptions. Half of your support goes to No Kid Hungry. Perk, I will see you next week, man. Take it easy.
I will see you next week.